We all know you have to suffer for your art, and we all know that video games are art. No arguing, I'm not getting into it. So according to logic, you have to suffer for your video games. That's the lesson these painful video game peripherals were designed to teach us again and again, with their punishing hand cramps, induced headaches, and simulated bullet injuries. Ow! That's so artistic.
To get the most out of a long note, touch the pick anywhere on the screen and wiggle it like a madman.
Wiggle, 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 yeah!
The year was 2008. The guitar-based music rhythm game was at the height of its power. Those were heady days for Guitar Hero, back when you could sell Rockstar fantasies and plastic guitars without having to reinvent MTV.
It's GHTV, the world's first playable music video network, and it's all part of Guitar Hero Live.
Oh, Guitar Hero. Having gone probably mad with money and power, they created the Guitar Hero Guitar Grip. This was a controller you plugged into your Nintendo DS to play Guitar Hero on tour, for when you wanted to play pretend guitar while out and about in public.
Your box contains one Guitar Hero on Tour game, the Guitar Grip and Pick.
That's a whole lot of great stuff!
Alright, budget Billy Joe Armstrong, calm down. You then strapped your unsuspecting hand into the guitar grip and experienced the last physical sensation you would ever have in the nerve endings of those fingers.
Insert your hand and adjust the strap so that it is secure but comfortable, putting your fingers on the keys.
You've got the power in your hands!
I said, calm down. Such was the hubris of these guitar game grandees, they figured we wouldn't mind clamping one of our precious food grabbers into the back of a DS in the death grip of their peripheral, which within a few minutes would reset your bones into a wizened claw shape. It was like being the drummer from Whiplash, but not as comfortable. Okay, the feeling did eventually return to our fingertips, but our career as a bonsai tree surgeon went right down the pan. Coincidence?
Atari, exploring new frontiers of technology with innovations that excite consumers and stimulate sales.
The Atari Mindlink, originally intended for release in 1984, was going to use a special headband to read the player's myoneural signal voltage, which it would use to control the action on your Atari 2600. In other words, it would let you play games with your mind. Except that it didn't really work. For myoneural signal voltage, read movement of forehead muscles, which meant that early testers of the Mindlink spent more time raising and lowering their eyebrows than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Now, you probably aren't Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, unless you are, in which case, hi The Rock, thanks for watching this video, big fan. But if you aren't, you probably haven't spent a prolonged period of time waggling your eyebrows like Mike here. That's a surefire way to give yourself a serious headache. This is a problem Mindlink testers started suffering from, and one of the main reasons the project was canned. Turns out no one was willing to give themselves a migraine just so they could play Breakout without using their hands. Still, there was the seed of a good idea there, and similar but better systems are now being used to help disabled people play games. So two good things came out of the Atari Mindlink, the first being I got to make Mike put on a headband and look ridiculous earlier.
Hey!
Have you ever been playing a first-person shooter and thought, man, I wish I was getting shot in the chest for real? No, of course you haven't, because that's ridiculous. And yet, that's apparently the thought process through which the creators of the third space FPS gaming vest went, coming up with this sporty combat tabard that uses compressed air to hit you in the chest and back with 30 pounds per square inch of pressure every time you get shot. Although, from the way the guy in the commercial is jigging about, we assume the vest is just full of angry fire ants.
From bullets, blasts, punches, and kicks as they happen in a game.
The TN Games website also lists an HTX helmet as coming soon, which promises to deliver blows to the head when you are fired upon. I'm probably alright, to be honest.
With Bloodsport, we're raising the stakes of gaming by making it so that when you lose blood in the game, you lose it in real life as well.
Yeah, what he said, pretty much. Bloodsport was a Kickstarter project which was trying to attract the funding to create a system that would drain your blood while you play games, taking away your red stuff whenever you went and got yourself hurt in the game. In practice, Bloodsport was a peripheral for your peripheral, in that it was basically a blood collection machine attached to a regular controller.
All we're doing is taking the electrical signal from the controller every time it rumbles and using it to turn on the blood collection system.
Wait, it turns on whenever the controller rumbles. So when a temple collapses in Tomb Raider, it's going to suck down all of my blood and most of my bone marrow. It wouldn't have caused loads of pain per se, but being stabbed with a needle is more pain than we usually put up with while playing video games. And the ick factor is comparatively high for games, even for someone who's really bad at Dead Space. The good news is the blood wasn't then piped out of your home through miles of international aqueducts and poured into the bathtubs of Silicon Valley investors so they could live forever off of young gamer blood. Bloodsport was actually meant to encourage legit blood donation, and as such, more of a publicity exercise for blood drives than a genuine peripheral looking for funding.
Our goal is to take Bloodsport to clinics across the country, so you can take part in blood donation gaming events.
We assumed the 39 backers who were trying to get Bloodsport off the ground were vampires who own and run arcades. How are you going to get the needles into their arms without them noticing? Think it through, guys. You dumb vampires.
He had the moves, the punches, the fire. But there was one thing he would never have. A way out.
These days we've gone soft with your non-nausea inducing VR headsets, your Oculus Rafts and PlayStation Morpheos.
Virtual Boy presents more challenges inside the third dimension.
Back in the good old days, we had a Nintendo Virtual Boy to mess up your eyes properly, and we were grateful, dagnabbit. For a start, the display could manage a mere one colour, bright red, making it seem like you were a Terminator sent back from the future to kill Mario during a game of tennis. Then there's the spindly stand the Virtual Boy was mounted on, which meant the only way to play it was to place it on a table and lean in until you developed profound curvature of the spine. Of course, the real quality injuries were left to the people who thought it was a straight sequel to the portable Game Boy and ended up walking directly into lampposts. You could call it a lack of peripheral vision if you wanted to go straight to pun prison.
What will the future bring from Nintendo? More hits like Super Mario Brothers.
Don't get us wrong, the controller for the original Nintendo Entertainment System was revolutionary, and elements of its design endure in console controllers today. The problem is, Nintendo's iconic gamepad was designed before anyone had heard of the word ergonomics, in this case, designing something that is compatible with human hands. While Japanese owners of the Famicom, presumably by fluke, got a more rounded off red controller, the NES pad had sharper angles than a supermodel's cheekbones. Grip the controller too hard during, say, the infuriating tunnel section from Battletoads, and you're liable to end up with pretty convincing stigmata. Of course, you can go too far the other way with controller design. I do not want to know why that thing is smiling so much.
Those were the punishing peripherals that loved inflicting pain more than Christian Grey. Thanks for watching Outside Xbox, and we produce a video like this every week, so why not subscribe and drop us a like? Can I have a drink? I am really thirsty, but also it gives me something to do with my hands. Actually, the yellow mug will be fine. It's cold tea, but I like cold tea. Nothing wrong with cold tea. I mean, it's not as good as hot tea, but it's tea.
There you go.
Are we recording?
Yeah. Tell me about videos.
Well, Andy, I'm glad you asked about videos because I have so many videos to show you and you also. So there's Show of the Week down here. There are literally hundreds, literally over 100 Show of the Week episodes which you can watch Netflix style, just back to back. Just keep going until they're all watched, like House of Cards. Or you can. As good as House of Cards. I have been compared to Kevin Spacey. And down here we have all the features that are kind of like this video, but not this video, but similar to this video and equally enjoyable, we hope. So
what Netflix show are they like?
They are somewhat like Orange is the New Black.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Prison I think you're over-promising.
So get on that
prison beatings
right away. Thanks for watching Outside Xbox, and yeah, take your pick. Show of the Week, features, go for it.